the way the weather is, we might have a little bit of south wind from here to Mendocino, 80 miles, 75 miles. By the time we get there, the swell from 7 feet will go up to like 12, 13. And tonight, 20 knots on the back with 14 feet swell. She will fly on this weather. You have to be careful for the stabilizers. I mean, careful. The only thing that we really have to pay attention, especially from the beginning, is the leak. If it's not the leak down below on a starboard stabilizer, if this one is not leaking, that's a game over. They'll work. There is a slight chance that thing is to start working when we fire up everything. I know that NMEA protocol, is not affected by anything, but at the same time, that thing died for no reason. The cooling flow on the stabilizers. No dice. I'll go check it out down in the engine room if we have a flow. This screen is not, it's hooked up to a box that is not lit. Basically the cables are there, everything is there, everything is hooked up on the way it's supposed to, but there is no signal from the box to the screen. The screen is working.
Flow.
There is a flow, yeah. Good.
Almost. So we'll do spring.
We'll do the rainy deal. Get the last dump them and run away from here because it's cold. But yeah, the
spring first.
The springs we can get, and the bow will be second to last, and probably the stern will be last. Thruster's working, 5 knots of south wind pushing us against the dog. No swell, no current, whatever. Plus, the driver has combined experience, 3 of us plus. So. Okay. I'll show you what's gonna happen in the afternoon with all the bars north of us. As here, going out of here, it's a joke. You can see what's gonna, you don't have to calculate it, you don't have to time it, there's any day, any weather, whatever. Slack water, high tide, low tide, anytime. In Coos Bay and up, even in okay, the pilot house on Nordhavn 76. We are south of Mendocino, 0 dark 30. I don't know what you're gonna see. The light probably is ridiculous, but let me try right to left. A little trusty iPad, a little Garmin GPS external antenna, just to be sure that those are working correctly. Usually I'm running one iPad, sometimes two, depends on the boat. On this one, just single iPad. That's the control for the AC and the heat. The phone on board, so you can call the master or staterooms. The loudspeaker for the radio. The lights, couple of flashlights there. Those are the headphones if I want to go in the engine room. The Garmin InReach, which I'm using for long range stuff without Starlink on board and for delivery tracking. A headlight. And the interesting part, SSB radio, black water tank, so we can monitor how full the tank is. Underneath is a switch, basically a key and a switch for the pump. We have 300 gallons, I believe, capacity, which is quite a bit. Gray water tank capacity plus the pump. One water maker, second water maker. That's the water tank level. We're pretty much full. This is the little generator, 11.5. That's the 32 and 40. That's the emergency manual control. So if we lose the throttle and transmission on a main engine, we can flip this switch and basically adjust the throttle. That's the override on a Fireboy, that little thingy, the fire suppression system. So if for some reason that thing decided there is a fire on board, it's a shutdown switch. As I've been on a boats that the main engine died, the get home engine died, but main engine was full electronic. The get home, the kill switch was push and pull. So you just disconnect the push and pull, disconnect basically the kill switch and go home on a get home engine. Not ideal, but we'll do. Here we'll have this thing. Flip a switch, keep on going. Electrical panel, 24, 12, 810. Lights, pumps, hydraulics, stuff like that. Control for the get home engine. Basically, we're running a main 525 D60 Detroit MTU Mercedes. Get home is a Luger, I believe. Yeah, it's a Luger, 145 horses. Primarily, this one is used for the hydraulics. So you fire up, you take control on the hydraulics. Basically, you put the hydraulic pump on a get home engine as a primary hydraulic pump and rev the RPMs. So right there, those thrusters will have maximum thrust. Anyway, that's the control for the little get home engine. That's the autopilot, the keyboard. The boat, as you can see, never had a steering wheel. Has just this lever. So with those switches, you can choose if you want to drive or if you're on an autopilot. If you want to use the lever, you just press the green button and steer the boat from there. That's similar to this. We'll have similar units on our wing stations on the left and the right of the vessel on the Portuguese bridge outside. So if you want to drive from there, if you want to steer the vessel, I have a similar units. Those are hydraulic propulsional thrusters. For those of you that are like, wow, how he drive this boat, easy. Forward and reverse is this, left and right on the stern, left and right on the bow. Those are, like I said, proportional hydraulics. The more you push, the more thrust you're gonna get. Or if you wanna stop the boat and keep the boat, let's say, against the dock, you just push them and you leave them in that position. The thrusters will push, the bow is 50 horses, the stern is 35 horses. We'll push against the dock and we'll wait for you there. Absolutely easy to drive. That boat is easier to drive than 35 footer with outboard engines. That's the control for the main engine. Radio on channel 16. That's the control for the radar. That's the Furuno charts. That's the FLIR night vision. We don't use a night vision in open ocean, pretty much never, just because night vision is great if you're going into a tight place, marina, something like that. Open ocean, you're not gonna see a lot of stuff. We use hillbilly headlights, couple of light bars on the bow. We're the only pleasure craft right now from San Francisco all the way to the upper left corner near Bay, upper left corner of the States. We're talking about like roughly 800 miles. Commercial guys, which they stay outside, I mean like 20-30 miles outside. Big tankers, big container ships, everybody's outside. The little guys like us, nobody. So that's this. From here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 screens. That's the radar. This a lot of times we're using for a fish finder, especially if you're fishing. Wiper controls. That screen is for hydraulics because we've been having, the boat had some problems the last year with sucking air into the hydraulic pump for the cooling for the stabilizers, and we'll overheat the pump and we'll overheat the impeller, we'll lose prime. So yeah, I fixed it. You'll see how I fixed it. There is a short video of it. I get rid of some of the fancy gizmos over there, like one-way valves and three-position Y valves and all of those stuff. So right now it's as simple as it goes. That's the flow for the cooling water, the raw water. That's the pressure. We're running 1700 psi. That's the temperature, 91, 92 degrees. And the steering hydraulics, because the same pump is cooling the main hydraulics and the steering hydraulics. That's the temperature. Steering rudder indicator, that's basically showing where our rudder is. Wiper controls, that's the way to fire up and shut down the engine. That's the key and the start button. That's basically what we're running right now. 1500 RPMs, burning 8, 9 gallons, and moving around 8 knots, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, pretty much 1-to-1. Here we have one navigational screen, second navigational screen. And let's go on the upper level. It's kind of bouncy outside. So here we have a record alarm. That's a fuel water separator with the sensor, that thingy. So if we have some mud, or if we start clogging filter, or if we have water on the bottom of the bowl, the water is heavier than diesel, will go on the bottom of basically the filter housing, and will give us alarm before we start introducing water into the engine. That's the dimmer, that switch. This is the red button is to silence the alarm. The two fire buoys. So that's the dimmer, that's the alarm, that's the record. Those are the fire buoys, the fire suppression system. High bilge alarms. It's a little schematic of the vessel with all the red LED lights. So if you have some water somewhere, or if something starts dripping, one of those will go on, plus one of those red buttons. Those are buttons plus indicators to run the bilge pumps. So if I want to run, let's say, forward bilge, that's what's gonna happen. And all of the other stuff over there start blinking. All of the little screens. Those are the intake and exhaust blowers. So the boat is with the stack pack chimney, and in order to cool down the chimney, you have to run engine room exhaust. We have two intakes. Right now we're running just one, plus the lazarette. Here we have a steering system, low oil pressure, high oil temperature, level of the oil on the steering. If we lose oil when we have a problem with the steering, first thing what's gonna happen is one of those will go red. Up there, the deck lights, so I can control the deck lights in the back, the forward facing lights, everything. Those are the lights here for anchoring, ground, not under command, and underway. On a normal way, just the upper one. Main hydraulics, like I said, we have a main engine hydraulic pump, the upper one. Once we fire up the get home or the wing engine, we can switch the pump to the wing engine hydraulics and rev the RPMs to, let's say, 1800 RPMs. And this way we have a better and more powerful thrusters that we can use on 100% without risking killing the main engine, which is usually we're maneuvering on a 600 RPMs. And if you jump out of the thrusters, you're putting like 80 horses worth of hydraulics on the top of the engine. So right there, you might lose the engine. With the wing engine, especially on 1800 RPMs, the only thing that you can use is 200 RPMs out of it, nothing else. We can run hydraulics on a mid generator, the 32. Windlasses are hydraulics, one of the windlass at least, I don't know the other one. We have hydraulic emergency bilge pump, which in case of start taking water, just flip the hydraulics and we'll suck a lot of water. I mean, it's really, really powerful, better than a lot of the electrical ones. Plus we have a anchor wash pump. Just underneath the anchors, where the chains are going down, there are a couple of pipes that when I turn this one on, will start shooting salt water towards the anchor chains and will clean those anchors. You don't have to go and rinse anything, just press the switch, good to go. This is the get home engine. We have like 1,000 hours, I believe, on that one. Pretty much nothing. Yep, 1100 right there. Continuous duty Luger, running, like I said, hydraulics most of the time. Those are the ABT stabilizers. We had a leak of hydraulic leak on let me see, the starboard one. We had to stop in Crescent City and fix it, but you'll see, you already know what's going on. That's gonna be the end of the video. So what was that? This is the control for the get home engine. So RPMs, fuel burn, voltage, all of this. That's the control for the anchor, up and down, plus chain counter, so you will know exactly how many feet of chain you have down below. This is the wind indicator, or actually multifunctional screen. We're using it as a wind indicator. Right now it's lying on 100%. What I'm saying is there is 10 knots of wind from starboard instead of from port. Lying on 100%. I don't know why. 3 days ago that thing just went crazy and flip around. I'll try to adjust it tomorrow. Not that we really care what's going on outside. 10, 20, 30 knots, same difference for this boat. That's the searchlight control. Up above is the whistle control, so we have a foghorn through the kind of like a loudspeaker. The good old watch is so yachty, looks really fancy. The compass, it's a must. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that is not electronic at this boat, the good old compass. Barometric pressure, that's the automatic identification system. For some of you that are not really familiar, that thing is sending a signal through a VHF frequency that basically is saying my position is this and this, the name of the boat, the speed of the boat, how big the boat is, so we know who's closer, what's the closest point of approach, after how many minutes, what kind of ship and everything else. That's another multifunctional screen up above. Right now we're running it on a compass course. This one used to be a satellite compass, obsolete, just the screen is there. This is a good screen, but it's not hooked up to nothing. We'll see if tomorrow or after tomorrow, if the weather is better, if we can open this board over here and so I can hook it up. This is another multifunctional screen. We can put, right now we have voltage, we have what we draw, how many amps, how many hours. Down below is the Furuno with our position, our speed and our course. A second radio, 22, which is the Coast Guard channel, used by a Coast Guard. So usually we monitor channel 16 plus channel 22, so I don't have to switch in between channels. And those are again the Maratron system, which you can hook it up pretty much anything to it. Good information about again, hydraulics, fuel tank, engine room, ambient temperature, what else we have? Shaft temperature, and the last thing is the Maratron alarm if something happen. Oh, we have two of these. So if you're curious what's going on, who's walking around the boat, one to port and one to starboard. The starboard one is showing just behind the vessel, behind the swim platform. So during a maneuver, you don't have to go outside to check what's going on. You just have to look at the camera and you can see how many feet, how many meters, a lot of times how many centimeters you're away from the other guy. The guy in the back. Radio, flashlight, Maxwell, that's supposed to be the anchor remote control, and a bunch of wipers because we had to replace some of them. So that's about it. It's simple. Looks like, mamma mia, what the hell is that? That's simple. You have all of the information up above about the important stuff like hydraulics and temperature, stuffing box temperature, voltages. You have the radar, you have a couple of navigational screens, you have the generators there to fire up, plus you have all of the hydraulics from here, main engine, and easy thrusters. Absolutely easy boat, and everything is right on a place supposed to be. You gotta love it. We are roughly 200 miles north of San Francisco. Tomorrow afternoon we're gonna be in San Francisco area, and from there I'll start shooting the fourth clip from this delivery. We have we have 550 miles roughly to the final destination, which is like 2.5, maximum 3 days. Weather's been okay, weather forecast being right on the money. I don't know how they're doing it, but it's just to the hour. 10 o'clock will be this and this, 12 o'clock will be this and this, 2 o'clock in the morning will be this and this. You wake up, you go to check it out, right on the money. Just great.